Hello everybody. In this tutorial I'll be going over some of the basic options you can change in Chrome to personalize it and maximize your experience with the browser. Let's begin. So I've already got a window open for Chrome. Let's go to that. And so let's talk about some of the things you could change. And we're going to go to the main menu on the right hand side. And here's a few things we could start off with. From my last video, if you remember, we did bookmarks, so we've got that here. You could do a new incognito window, new tab. New tab is basically a new website within the same browser. New window is a new website inside a new window, so it's a whole new one of these windows here. Incognito window is one that's kind of hidden, so let's click on that here. So it tells you pretty much what it is here in the middle. It's a page that doesn't show some of your browsing data that you're doing, the web pages you visited, some of the history that it keeps, and so forth. So you could do that. We've got recent tabs that we opened up. Then we've got the edit, cut, copy, paste. We could zoom in and out. So if the letters are too big or too small, we could zoom out and zoom in if we want, which is pretty cool. So you could save the page, find things, print. Then you got some tools here, which we won't talk about right now. You've got the history, if you want to pull up a history of the pages you've gone to, some of your downloads. You could sign into Chrome. Since Chrome is a Google product, you could also sign in to your Google account this way if you want as well. And you got your settings about Google Chrome, which will tell you the version, help, extensions, and then you could exit. But for now, let's go into settings. So here under the settings, you could personalize some of the features within the browser itself. So to start off with, you could sign in to Chrome if you want here. On startup, this here is where you set your home page. So you could set to open to a new tab, open a new tab page, which is Google's default page. You continue where you left off. So if you're like me, you've got a ton of browsers open when you exit the browser when you're done. And you really don't want to do this because it takes time to load up the browser if you've got a bunch of different pages showing up. And then you've got the last option, which is opening a specific page. Now this is where you set your home page. So if I want my home page to be Google, for example, I could set it here. Click OK. And if I wanted to, I could add more pages as well, just going back into it, which I don't recommend doing since it's going to take longer for the browser to load. So I would suggest just open one page, and as you need them, keep opening the pages that you want to see. Next, you got the appearances. So you could get a personalized theme, which Chrome has in their store. Different themes you could download if you want. Some pretty cool images, something that's more towards your liking. You could definitely download a theme and install it. You could have it always show the bookmark bar, which we do have already checked because we want that shown. The search engine, you could set that, which right now it's set to Google. Add users. And then below, the last item here is where you could make Chrome the default browser. So if it's not already your default browser, you could set it this way. But it's up to you. You don't have to. And right below that, you've got show advanced options or settings. And this is where you could actually change some of the more, you could go more in depth with the settings of the browser. So we got privacy settings, where we could set the content. We could set what cookies we want to allow, which is pretty much the data that we want stored. You could block sites from getting any data, block third-party cookies. You could create exceptions as well to allow for certain sites that are exceptions to blocking cookies and so forth. You could delete cookies this way as well. You could choose to show all images. So on some pages, images might not load up correctly because of some security reasons. So you could have it to show all images or not show any. It also reduces your loading time for the page. So if you want the page to load quickly without having to show all these graphics, then you could choose to not show any images. Okay, so we've got other things you could change here. I'm not going to go into all of them since some are for advanced users, and this is just a general overview. We do have here in the next area, pop-ups. You could allow all sites to show pop-ups or block all pop-ups. Then you could create exceptions as well. So in other words, you could create a rule saying for these particular sites, I want pop-ups to show up. Location. This is something you might want to look into too. If you don't want it to track your personal location, then you could set it to not track your location, or you could have it prompt you to ask if you want the location shown or not. Notifications, protected content you got here, your inputs, which is the media, microphone, camera, so forth. And then automatic downloads. So here you could set it to automatically download it, ask you before it downloads, or not allow any downloads. Let's continue on. So that was privacy there. You could also check one of these options. I'll allow you to read through those at your convenience, but I just like to leave it as a defaulted values as it's already set. Then here, web content. You could set it to have a different size of font, different style of font, and you can set the zoom level. So this is defaulted to whatever you want to. So once you set this, it's going to go to these settings every time you open up a browser. Now, it's not messing around with proxy settings. That's for advanced users as well. Languages, this is where you could change your language if you want. You could change your download location. So when you download a file, if you want to change the location to some location that is more convenient for you, maybe on your desktop, you could create a folder there, and you could come here, and you could change the location and have it go to that specific folder that you want, instead of going to the defaulted folder that's set to. And we're going to skip this stuff as well. It's advanced settings. But here you could change a couple things at the bottom of the system. Continue running background apps when Google Chrome is closed. You can check that. And use hardware acceleration when available. Let's not mess around with that too. It's okay as a default. But here at the bottom, this is where you could reset your browser settings. So say you went against my recommendations and you started messing around with some settings, adding some proxies, adding changes here and there, checking some boxes, and you find that your browser is no longer working. Well, why is that? You don't remember what you did. You don't remember what checkboxes you checked. You don't recall where you made the changes. So what you want to do is reset your browser settings to its original values. So this is where you can do that. So you just check that box and hit reset. And it's going to warn you that it's going to reset it to what it was at the very beginning. So any specific customizations you made, any homepage that you saved, any themes that you downloaded, it's going to erase all that and just put it back to how it was in the beginning. But that's a quick way of undoing the mess that you created by messing with all these settings. It's a good learning experience though too. So you could learn, okay, this setting breaks it, this one doesn't, and so forth, but it's up to you if you want to mess with it. But here's how you undo it all. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to comment on this video and subscribe to my channel. You can do this to view more tutorial videos. Thank you.